Okay, geographers, let's look at Digimaps. So in the top left hand corner in the search bar, I've clicked on the place where I did my NEA, let's pretend, and I went to Mapleton. Now Mapleton shows off some really good coastal geography and also some interesting urban geography. So the first thing I'm going to do is plot a transect. So this could be an urban heat island transect, it could be a beach transect, it could be anything. So I've just clicked on line in the top. I'm in the top menu with the yellow pencil drawing tools. I've clicked on line. I can customize the color and the thickness. I can zoom in and just show the examiner just by left clicking exactly where my transect was to that road. When I double click at the end, that finishes the line off. Okay, I did a couple of transects as well. Let's pretend I did an urban heat island one and I walked through Mapleton itself. Let's change the color. Let's do a blue line, and then just with smaller steps I can show the examiner and the people reading my NEA exactly where my transect was, just like that. I can change the colour of the line afterwards if I want. If you click on measure, Digimaps will then measure the line you've just drawn. So this line here is 531 metres, and let's do this transect here. That one's 192. Okay, and I can actually move these numbers around to somewhere that's appropriate. And as you zoom in and zoom out, the transect stays intact. Pretty cool. I can put markers on, as you can see here. I can put smiley faces or stick people, and I can just dot these around the beach if I need to. I can customize those as well according to different colors. So if I wanted to just dot some squares on, I could do that. But then if I click on a square, I need to click on the click button. There it is, select click. When I select a square, I can then customize it. So for example, if I wanted this a different color, I could do that and it would change color. With a bit of luck, there it is, it's gone pink. Okay, when you select a square, it actually goes yellow. So I've got the clicker on here. Okay, so we've done a transect. Let's show off some land use skills. So I click on shape, and I'm going to go green for this one. Imagine I'm doing a water and carbon project, and I want to show an area of land. I can draw a shape like this, but actually, whoops, what I can actually do, the delete button, that would be good to show you. If I click on delete, don't click on all, I can just click on them and delete like that. That's the delete everything button. It will give you a warning. Okay, if I want to highlight this square, if it was a water and carbon project, I go to shape, and it is polygon. That's the one I wanted, polygon. And then I can just draw around this area to say to the examiner, this is the area I'm looking at. And again, measure, and it will tell me the area of that shape. Okay, and then again I can just move that measurement. Text box does the obvious. Okay, I can put some text in here and do some commentary about that. I can even move the locator like that. I can do a very simple label. That's what text means. So I can just add a label wherever I want to, and again I can then move that label. If I was doing land use in an urban area, I can actually draw around a building. So if I click on shape, polygon, let's go for a different color. Let's go for yellow, and then using the left click, I can just draw around this building here. And for example, double click, yellow buildings might represent buildings that tourists use. Okay, so I could go through the whole high street in Reading, labeling those. Okay, let's add a photo. So if I go to image, I can then go to my photos. So image, and I want to add a photo. So I click where I want the photo to be, upload image, choose file, and I've taken a lovely photo of a sand dune. Okay, and there it is. And I didn't see that sand dune there. I saw the sand dune over here, so I can actually move the marker. I can move the photo as well. Okay, I don't think you can make the photo bigger or not, bigger or smaller. I don't think it's that good. You have to have the photo the correct size when you actually import it. Another thing you can do is you could save something. You could bring something in from Excel. So if I just jump to Excel, here's a bar chart I've made. If I right click on the bar chart and I save picture as, I can then save it on my desktop. I'll call it graph, save, and hopefully I'll be able to import that in. So let's have a go. So image, I want to put it on my transect about here, hoping this is going to work, and then upload, and it has. There we go. As if by magic, I've actually got this graph on my transect, which looks pretty cool. I could put these along my transect if I had lots of them. Okay, so please have a little play around with that. Again, the graph size, you've got to make sure it's large enough for the viewer to see. Clearly I can't see this one, but I've just done it as a dummy version. Okay. Another amazing thing is I can put data along a transect or on my map, which is really powerful. The way I do this is using the buffer. So if I do buffer, point, and then I put in my raw data here. So say I collected temperatures, and the temperature at my first point was 12.7. I then click where I want the data point, and that represents 12.7. Again, buffer, point. My next reading was 15.8. It was getting a bit tasty when I went into town, and I can click where I put it. So buffer, middle of town, very, very warm indeed, in Mappleton. I can click that on. And again, I can customize them. I can put labels on to show the temperatures. Okay, so I could do that on here, whatever temperature that was. I can put a 25, I can actually label it and change the colour accordingly. Wouldn't it be nice if the warmer ones were red and the cooler ones were a bluer colour? So I can put my data on. That's super, super important. I can geolocate my data. Another thing I can do is I can actually upload my own data. Now you can't upload raw data, but you can upload labels. So if I go to the menu that says this one, the red sort of cross, add your own data, and what I've got is I've got a data file that's saved as a CSV. So in an Excel sheet I've saved a CSV, and when I upload that data, I import the data, you can see that it has appeared down here in Chroma. Okay, so I had a simple CSV file with this data in it. Okay, now it doesn't represent the data, so this 57 is just a 57. There's no proportional circle or anything, but on the beach I know the exact position where I went, and I'm going to show you how you can actually do that. So in Excel, what I could do is I could set up a spreadsheet. Let's get rid of this one, and in the top left corner, if I call it grid ref and then label, for my grid references, if I actually go to Digimaps and then I click on the yellow pencil, I think it's the yellow pencil, yes, yellow pencil, grid ref, and then if I just click on the map, it will tell me the exact grid reference of that point there. Okay, so this grid reference is TG 2268 4205. So that is the grid reference. The TG tells me which map I'm looking at. Okay, now I'm not going to remember that while I click over, but I'm just going to make it up. Imagine it was TG 22 35 67 54 or whatever. Okay, that's my first grid reference. The label I want to put next to that could be site A, or it could be a number, and then I would have another grid reference underneath it with some more labels. I can have as much data. Make sure you save it as CSV and not an Excel file. It's got to be a CSV file. Okay, then if you go back to Digimaps, you can then import it just the way I've done that. Okay, please have a play around. I've only shown you the drawing menu, the drawing tools menu. The map selector menu is pretty cool. Okay, this is quite fun. So if I go to a place, let's go back to Mappleton. Okay, I can actually draw the coastline on here, and this is really, really cool. Watch this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put on line, blue line, and I'm just going to quickly just draw a line where the modern day coastline is. Okay, then on the map selector I'm going to go back, what's that, 70 years? So 70 years ago, let's put a red line, the modern day coastline was in a completely different place. Let's go back another 60 years, and wowzers, the coastline is in a different place again. Okay, let me get the right coastline here. I think it's there. Yeah. So those of you that were talking about change over time, this is exactly how you can do it. You can look at historical maps. You can even look at the historical map of a place, changing places. How's a place changed? How's the land use changed in that area? One thing you can actually do is measure how far the coastline has retreated. So as you probably guessed, I can just draw a line between those two distances. I can click measure. There we go, 162 meters. So between 1890-ish and 1950-ish, so in 60 years, the coastline's retreated 162 meters. Let's draw another line on. Double click at the end, measure the line, and again about 160 meters in the last 70 or so years. That's the 1950s line, and that's where we are now in 2022. Okay, so please have a play around with it. There's loads and loads of stuff you can do. It's an unbelievable tool. In September, in the autumn, we'll have a chat about it, but I want you guys to have a go and help each other out. Okay, bye bye.